Hey guys, welcome back. Today I'm doing a get ready with me and I'm gonna be sharing products that within the past year, maybe past couple of months or so, have become Holy Grail favorites for me. My friend Abbie and I, we came up with this video to film in collaboration with each other. Her channel is Make Life Your Runway, and I found Abbie's channel because she did a video on Share the Love. She had reached out to me and told me about her video and that she had featured me. So I went and checked out her channel and fell in love with her and her content, and we have become really great friends. And I definitely want to get her channel out there and noticed because she is a smaller channel, but she has amazing content. You guys will love her. She's so much fun to watch. It literally feels like you're just getting ready with a friend. She does a lot of get ready with me videos. She has like a weekly makeup basket, and sometimes she does like vlogs and health and fitness stuff. So definitely check out her video. She's going to be sharing her newer Holy Grail favorites as well. If you have come over from Abbie's channel, welcome to my channel, and I hope that you will enjoy my video today. Let's just go ahead and jump into it. So when it comes to primers, I don't really have, I guess, a newer Holy Grail primer. I've still been loving like the primers that I've loved for a long time. I'm gonna use today the First Day Beauty Coconut Skin Smoothie Primer. I love this because it's like a skincare product and primer in one. When I'm in a rush, I'll just use this and just skip, you know, my lotion, because this is like a lotion and primer all in one. So I'm just going to apply that first. And I just apply it all over. I don't apply it like on my eye area, but just everywhere else. The Bite Beauty Agave Lip Mask, and this is definitely becoming a Holy Grail product. Like if your lips are very chapped and dry, this stuff is so moisturizing. A lot of times I'll apply it in the evening, and when I wake up in the morning, my lips just feel so hydrated. I have a couple of new like Holy Grail foundations. The L'Oreal Infallible Fresh Wear. Like I fell in love with this at the beginning of the year, and I still really like this. This is more of a light to medium coverage foundation. I find that it lasts all day on me. This is also just like a natural finish foundation. Like it doesn't look dewy and it doesn't look super matte. Like it just looks like skin. Now, if I want a foundation that's really dewy, my new Holy Grail favorite is the Flower Beauty Light Illusion. It's just a beautiful foundation. This is kind of like the Fresh Wear in the sense of the coverage. Like this is a light to medium coverage foundation. If you're the type of person that you do not like a dewy foundation, I say get the Fresh Wear. With the L'Oreal Infallible Fresh Wear, it does come in a ton of different shades, so you should be able to find your color in the Fresh Wear. The only downside to the Flower Beauty foundation is the fact that she just needs more colors, like more shades in her range. And I find that with this foundation, they tend to run either yellow or a little orange. So she needs a little bit more like neutral colors in this foundation, and I've mentioned that before. But this is the foundation that I'm going to be using today. A new Holy Grail like makeup brush that I've discovered, not makeup brush, but makeup sponge over the past couple of months is the Wet n Wild makeup sponge. Like this is becoming like my all-time favorite makeup sponge, even over the Real Technique sponge. It's very comparable to the Beauty Blender. It might be slightly a little more dense than the Beauty Blender, but it's not as dense as like the Real Technique sponge. Like it's a little softer than the Real Technique sponge. And I would say that it's just as soft as like the Flower Beauty sponge if you've ever used that sponge before, or like the L'Oreal makeup sponge. So, but I just really like the shape of this Wet n Wild sponge because it's kind of like a mix between the Beauty Blender and the Real Techniques makeup sponge, because it's shaped like the Beauty Blender, but then it has like that flat side like the Real Technique sponge. But I like the fact that it comes to like a point where you can really get in there and do your concealer or blend like around your nose. And I think this Wet n Wild sponge is like $3.99. So yeah, it's really affordable. With the Flower Beauty Light Illusion, the shade that I wear in this is in Porcelain L1, but it's just a gorgeous foundation. I don't know if you can see like how it's illuminating on the skin. And also too, I just want to say, like, if you have been subscribed to my channel for a while, you know that I love my L'Oreal Infallible Pro Glow. This is another Holy Grail foundation, and even though I like the Light Illusion, I still like the Pro Glow. This is more medium to full, where this is light to medium. And then of course, you guys know Revlon Color Stay. This will always be like a Holy Grail foundation. This is when I want something super full coverage, long wearing. With concealers, a newer Holy Grail favorite is the LA Girl Pro Conceal. Now, I think I first got this back in November or December of last year, and it has slowly just become one of my all-time favorite concealers. It has really great full coverage, and it's not a super matte concealer. Like, it has more of a semi-matte finish to it, and it just lasts all day long. I never have creasing issues with it, even if I don't set it with a powder. And this LA Girl Pro Conceal, like, it comes in a ton of different shades, and it's really affordable. I get mine at CVS, so I know that other places carry LA Girl, but that's like the only place around me that actually carries LA Girl. But I want to get some more LA Girl products because I really like that concealer, and I also really like their blushes. Like, they have some really amazing blushes, and that's like another new Holy Grail favorite for me. But yeah, like, as you can see with this Wet n Wild sponge, like, it just blends concealer out around your eyes so nice. And then sometimes if I want a little bit more coverage, like on my nose, or if I just want to highlight, I'll just go in with a little bit more concealer. Now, with powders, it's kind of a little early for me to say if the Charlotte Tilbury The Magic powder is a new Holy Grail favorite, because I literally just got this a couple of weeks ago, but I have been loving this so much. Like, it's just such a beautiful illuminating powder, and I know it's not cheap. But yeah, I would say that this is a new Holy Grail product for me. Like I said, I know it might be a little bit too early to say that, but I do feel like it's gonna be a Holy Grail for me, just because out of all of the illuminating powders that I have in my collection, this is the one that I just keep going back to and keep reaching for. Even though I've only had it for a couple of weeks, it's like I haven't been able to like stop using it. It just looks so pretty on the skin. Like, it gives your foundations like a soft glow. Like, it's not a super in your face glow. It just kind of gives it like a diffused glow, and it's just so pretty. And my favorite way to apply this, if I could find my brush, is with my e.l.f. Kabuki brush. I like to kind of buff it in a little bit. So I just put a little bit of it in the lid, then I just get some of it on the brush, and then just kind of, I mean, I don't really like buff it on. I kind of more so just like pat it. I don't really like to buff my powders in, just because I feel like it kind of disturbs the foundation. But yeah, with this powder, like I was telling you guys in my haul video, like, she reformulated this to where it doesn't have that strong, old, dirty makeup smell. Because I know that her original formula, it smelled really bad. But this is a really beautiful powder. I mean, I know that the VIB sale just ended, but if you can like wait to the fall and get it at a discount, get it 20% off, I think it's definitely worth it. Or if you know, want to put it on a birthday wish list or something like that when you get a gift card, I think that would be a good time to pick it up and try it out. And it's also really beautiful as an under eye setting powder. I've used it that way as well. Today, I'm not going to be using this as an under eye setting powder because I have a new Holy Grail under eye setting powder. And I have mentioned this in a couple of different videos, but the Becca Under Eye Brightening Setting Powder. Like, for the longest time, you guys know that the e.l.f. Under Eye setting powder was like my Holy Grail setting powder, and I still like this. And if you're looking for an affordable option, like if you're trying to find like a good affordable under eye setting powder, this is a decent one. But I feel like now that I'm getting into my mid-30s, I do notice that with that powder, with the e.l.f. one, sometimes it can make my under eyes look a little dry. And so I need a setting powder that's really finely milled. And this Becca powder is so finely milled. I don't ever have issues with it. I don't know what that noise was. With it making my under eyes look dry. But it also like just helps to brighten up my under eyes and keep my concealer from creasing. And it just really smooths out that area. So if you guys know of some other like affordable under eye setting powders, let me know down in the comments. I feel like that's one area where the drugstore needs to kind of work and focus on, is under eye setting powders, because there's not a whole lot of options out there. I don't really have like any new Holy Grail brow products. Like, I still love my Benefit Gimme Brow. That's my Holy Grail brow gel. I don't know. I mean, I've been getting into this Benefit Precisely My Brow Pencil, and I got this the same time that I got the Charlotte Tilbury powder at the Sephora VIB sale. So it's kind of like too soon to say if that's Holy Grail. I mean, I do really like this though. So I'm just gonna comb through my eyebrows and just kind of fill in my brows like I normally would. I think I'm just gonna use Precisely My Brow today. Like, I feel like this is more precise than even this L'Oreal brow pencil, which this is, well, I don't know. These are actually pretty similar. The Benefit one might be a little smaller than the L'Oreal one, just slightly. But the L'Oreal, the Brow Stylist Definer, this is a pretty good brow pencil and it's really affordable. So that's probably like my Holy Grail drugstore brow pencil. But yeah, I definitely like this Benefit Precisely My Brow better than the Brow Wiz. And recently, how I've been filling in my brows is just kind of not really filling them in too much, kind of just going around the edges, just sharpening my brows up, like just defining them. And my eyebrows are microbladed, so I don't have to do a whole lot to fill them in. It's just more so of like just making sure the shape is defined. And then with the Gimme Brow, with those two brow products from Benefit, they're in shade 3 if you're curious. And I will have all the products I'm using today listed and linked down below. So if you forgot of something that I mentioned or whatever, it'll be down there. But yeah, the Gimme Brow has just been a long time like Holy Grail favorite. I know that there's other like affordable options, like Essence has the Make Me Brow and it's pretty comparable, but I still just always go back to the Gimme Brow. This next product, I don't feel like this will come as a surprise if you watch my channel, but my new Holy Grail bronzer is this Milani Silky Matte Bronzer in Sunkissed. And this bronzer is just so beautiful. It's not too cool toned, it's not too warm toned, and it blends out so nice. It really is like silk, like the way that it blends. Like, I never have any issues with it looking patchy. And even though it is a matte bronzer, like it never looks dirty or too dull, like, or unnatural. I think this is even better than a lot of high-end bronzers. It's just so pretty. And I know that they make a shade underneath of Sunkissed. I don't remember what that one's called, but it's 01. The Sunkissed is 02. And I think the one that's underneath of this is like more of a warm toned bronzer. Like, it kind of has more of like golden undertones. This one is just more neutral. I kind of talked about this a second ago, but newer Holy Grail blushes. Definitely the LA Girl blushes. I discovered these at the end of last year, and I absolutely love these two colors that I have. I have Just Bare and Just Natural. And Just Natural is like a really pretty pink, kind of like a peachy pink shade. And then Just Bare is more of like a rose tan, almost like a bronzer, but just slightly a little bit more rosy. Like if I compare it to Sunkissed, so you can see. So you can see like it kind of is a little bit like of a bronzer tone, but it has a little bit more of like a dusty rose color. This is recent, like in the past couple of months, but the Flower Beauty Flower Pots blush. This is in Sweet Pea, and it's a gorgeous, gorgeous blush. I want to go back and get her other ones because this one is just so pretty. It's a beautiful matte blush, and it's one of those colors that just goes with any makeup look. I feel like all of these blush colors that I was just showing you are the types of blushes that go with like any makeup look. I'm going to use Just Bare, and I'm just going to be applying this with my Morphe R10. But yeah, I definitely feel like this Just Bare is a beautiful color for this summer. Like, because it just gives you like that really pretty sun-kissed look to your cheeks. And sometimes I'll even just use this blush by itself because it almost doubles as like a blush and a bronzer in one. These two highlights here are like newer Holy Grail highlights. The Flower Beauty, this is their Shimmer and Strobe highlighting palette. This is beautiful. I don't tend to use these two colors a whole lot right now because these look better on somebody like that's a little bit more tan than me. I'm a little too fair right now for those colors, but this shade right here is stunning. It is so beautiful. It's a beautiful, just like nude champagne highlight, and it just melts into the skin. And then also the Makeup Revolution. This is the iridescent or incandescent or something. I can't remember exactly what it's called because it doesn't have anything on the back, but I absolutely love this. I can use every single highlight in here, and these are super intense highlights. Like I'll try to do one on one side of my like one on one side, one on the other, so you can see the difference between like this palette and this one. But I think either one of these palettes are beautiful, and they're both affordable palettes. So I'm gonna apply the Flower Beauty on this side, and I'm using that nude color. So like, as you can see, it's just so pretty. I've just been so impressed with Flower Beauty recently. I just really like a lot of her products. So that's what it looks like there. And sometimes too, I'll even apply my highlight before my blush. It's probably what I should have done today. It just kind of helps to blend it better. Okay, and then I'm gonna use the more nude one in this palette just so I don't look too crazy. It's been a minute since I have used this Makeup Revolution highlighting palette. It is one of my Holy Grail highlighting palettes. So, I don't know if you can see, the Makeup Revolution is just slightly a little bit more intense, or maybe the highlight itself is just a little lighter, so it makes it look more intense than the Flower Beauty. But I just think they're both really, really pretty. I think the Flower Beauty just kind of melts into the skin more, where this one, you know, you can see the shimmers a little more. So if you're concerned with texture, I would definitely go for the Flower Beauty. But I never really have issues with this Makeup Revolution showing texture or anything like that. So I think either one is beautiful, and definitely love both of those. I have several new Holy Grail eyeshadow palettes. I definitely love like the Makeup Revolution eyeshadow palettes. I have several that I think are just amazing quality for the price. I just think they're really good. And then also my Pro Fusion eyeshadow palettes. Like, I just think, once again, these are amazing quality for the price. Like, for this big palette, it's $10, and the shades in here are just so pigmented and super beautiful, easy to blend out. So I absolutely love this, and I think I'm going to use this palette today. I know that you guys were really upset the last time I filmed a video. I was talking about doing a look with like these purples, and then I ended up not using this palette. But I'm gonna make you guys proud and use this palette today and do some looks with these pinks and purples, like I did on my trip to California with that purple jumpsuit. So I'm gonna use that palette today, but I've just been impressed with that. Another new favorite, like Holy Grail eyeshadow palette, is this one by Alter Ego and Temptress. I just think this is an amazing palette. Also, for the price, it blends out beautifully. It's definitely comparable to the Anastasia Sultry palette, which I've mentioned that to you guys before. And also these Essence Melted Chrome eyeshadows. I know these are newer, but these things are beautiful and they're definitely becoming Holy Grail favorites. So those are probably like my newer Holy Grail eyeshadows. So yeah, I'm just going to be using the Profusion Pro Pigment palette today. And I'm going to zoom you guys in so you can see what I'm doing. When it comes to eyeshadow primers, I don't necessarily have a new Holy Grail favorite. The Wet n Wild Photo Focus and the CoverGirl Lid Lockup. Those two are like Holy Grail. This one here, which is new to me, it's discontinued, but my friend April gave this to me. This is the Catrice Cosmetics Prime and Fine eyeshadow base. If they still made this, I would say that this is my new Holy Grail favorite because it's very moisturizing on the eyelids, but also keeps your eyeshadows locked on all day and keeps them vibrant. But I can't really recommend this one to you guys because they don't sell it anymore. So I would say get the Wet n Wild one or the CoverGirl Lid Lockup if you're looking for a good eyeshadow primer. And I'll also link down below my other Holy Grail makeup videos that I've done, and I still feel the same way about those products. Like, they're still Holy Grail favorites for me as well, but these are just newer ones. So yeah. And I'm trying to remember exactly how I did this look. I think I may have use my bronzer in my crease first. So I'm just going to use my Milani Silky Matte. This also doubles as a really good like transition shade. So like if your palette doesn't have a good transition shade, this makes for a good one. So I'm just using my Morphe R37 brush, and I'm just going to brush this into my crease, mostly into like my upper crease, because I want this to kind of peek above, which probably a lot of the other shades I'm going to be using are going to kind of cover this up. But just to kind of help things blend better. First, I'm going to go in with this shade right here. And this is in the shade Disco. And I'm just going to blend that shade more focused like in my crease. And if it gets on your eyelid, it's okay, because I'm going to put another shade there. But I know a lot of you guys have been wanting me to do more like colorful makeup looks. So I have another look I want to do with like blues that I did on my trip to California. I don't know if you guys saw my Insta stories whenever I was on my trip, but I did a look where I used like teal and navy, and it looked like peacock feathers, like the way that the colors turned out. So I want to do that makeup look soon. So you all will have to let me know like what other colored makeup looks you'd like to see. And then I'm going to take some more of that Disco shade with this Real Technique shading brush and just kind of smoke that out on my lower lash line. Then I'm going to go in with the shade Go Girl. And I'm just going to pat that here on the last like third of my eyelid with my Sigma concealer brush. I think this is the F70 is the number. I'll link all the brushes I'm using today down below, down in the description box. Okay, then I'm grabbing my Morphe M506 with a little bit more of Go Girl. And I'm just going to focus this more in my outer V, like blending where I put that on the last part of my eyelid. And just taking that into my crease. I love this brush for blending shades in my outer V because it's like smaller and precise, but at the same time it does a good job of just like blending the color out. I'm going to take a little bit of Go Girl on that same Real Technique shading brush, and I'm just going to focus this like right out here. And then I'm going to go back with my M573 brush and just kind of go over the edges just to blend that out. I'm just going to use the shade Queen, and then I'm just packing that Queen shade on the brush, and then I'm just going to mist my brush with makeup setting spray. And I was just using my Urban Decay All Nighter, and that's just going to intensify the shadow. It kind of enhances like the duochrome of that shade because it has like little blue like shimmers in it, and I don't know if you can see like how it looks iridescent. I just find that when I mist it with the setting spray, it kind of brings that out more. I'm just doing the same thing over here. And also this poor little palette right here. This is a Makeup Revolution eyeshadow palette. This is also like another like new Holy Grail favorite. It's totally fallen apart, but I absolutely love this. I'm gonna grab a little bit of this color right here. It's just a really, really dark purple. Like it almost looks black, because I just want to darken this outer V up just ever so slightly. I would say that's like the only shade. Well, I wouldn't say the only shade, but I wish that this Profusion palette kind of had that sort of shade in this palette, because it would just kind of make the purples and the pinks a little bit more complete, I feel like. But just any really dark purple shade that you have, or you could even use like a matte black eyeshadow. Just make sure that you tap it off really well and just use just the littlest amount of it. I just want a little bit of more depth right in here. This is the Fortune Favors the Brave palette. I don't think I even said what the name of the palette was. I'm gonna grab a little bit of the shade Jive, which is that hot pink, on my Morphe M573. And I'm just gonna barely go around the edge right up top, just so it kind of creates like a glow sort of effect. And I'm gonna grab a little bit of that dark purple that I was using out of the Fortune Favors the Brave palette, that Makeup Revolution palette. And I'm just gonna smudge a little bit of that out here. I'm gonna grab the shade right here, and I'm gonna use that as my brow bone highlight. So just any matte cream color. But yeah, I just love this palette because you can create so many beautiful looks with it. Like, I swear, I reach for this palette so much. Sorry about that. I live like right next to a busy street, and I also live in the country, so everybody has like loud trucks and motorcycles, so sorry. I know that's like distracting. Another Holy Grail favorite, which this has been a Holy Grail forever, but this is the Physicians Formula Eye Booster Pen in Ultra Black. So I'm just gonna do some winged liner, and then I'll come back and show you guys my new Holy Grail mascara, and then also do my lips. Now I know I did super dramatic winged liner with this, so if you don't feel comfortable with that, you could always just do smaller wings or just totally skip doing any eyeliner, and it would still look beautiful with the eyeshadow and everything. It's definitely one of those looks that you can just skip the eyeliner just because the shadow looks so pretty on its own. Let me zoom out because I'm going to show you all like my newer Holy Grail setting spray. So this VDL, this is the Expert Radiance Fix Mist. I discovered this, I guess would it have been a year ago? Or no, wait a minute, I gotta think about this. It was I guess it was the end of last year, whenever I went to IMATS, I picked this up. I discovered VDL, which I just found out that Ulta is gonna start carrying VDL, so that is really amazing. They have such awesome products, and a lot of them are like more skincare based, so I'm so excited about that. But this is my Holy Grail Dewy Makeup Setting Spray. Like, it just makes your foundation look super dewy, and it keeps your makeup lasting all day. So I'm just gonna let that dry, and then once that dries, I'm gonna go ahead and do my mascara. But yeah, this is my Holy Grail Dewy Setting Spray. If I want just like a setting spray that's not necessarily gonna make my foundations look dewy, but it's gonna help my foundations to last all day, the Urban Decay All Nighter is my Holy Grail setting spray for that. And then the Flower Beauty Lash Warrior Mascara. This is a new Holy Grail mascara. I think this is starting to become like my, like, just all around, just like #1 Holy Grail mascara, because the Maybelline Lash Sensational is that mascara for me, but in a lot of ways I like this Flower Beauty mascara better, the Lash Warrior, because it does the same thing with my lashes that the Maybelline Lash Sensational does, except for this one separates my lashes even better than the Maybelline one. It just gives my lashes a lot of volume and length and separation. It's like everything that you would want in a mascara. I would say a newer Holy Grail lip liner is my NYX Suede Matte Lip Liner in Sandstorm. Like, this lip liner goes with any nude lipstick. Like, it just is really good and long wearing. So I'm just gonna line my lips with this. For lipsticks, the Wet n Wild Liquid Catsuit High Shine lipsticks, this one in Send Nudes, and then, which I know one of these is limited edition from their Petal, or from their Rebel Rose collection, but the Petal Poison. I would say that these two are definitely Holy Grail, like new Holy Grail lip products. And then another lipstick that I've discovered recently that has become Holy Grail are these Morphe lipsticks. These are their cream lipstick formula. And I haven't used their matte formula, but I love this cream formula. It feels so nice and hydrating on the lips, but it lasts probably about 4 or 5 hours. It lasts, you know, like a typical bullet lipstick, maybe slightly a little longer. Like, the formula kind of reminds me of the Maybelline Color Sensational lipsticks, but slightly a little more long wearing than the Maybelline lipsticks. So my two favorite shades is in 4EVs and Shady. Those are like my two favorites. And I think today I'm going to use 4EVs because I just think that that's going to look better with this makeup look with the eyeshadow. And 4EVs is just a nice everyday nude pink. So you'll have to let me know down in the comments what are some of your newer Holy Grail makeup products. If there's anything new that I need to pick up and try out for you guys, let me know down in the comments. Make sure that you go and check Abbie's channel out. I cannot wait to watch her video and see what her favorites are, like what her newer Holy Grail favorites are. I just love Abbie, and I know that you guys are gonna love her and her content. Go follow her and support her. If you came over from Abbie's channel and you stayed to the end. Thanks for watching my entire video. I know it was probably longer. I hope that you did enjoy it. I hope all of you guys enjoyed my video today. I hope that all of you all have a great day, and I will see you all in my next one. Bye-bye.